How's it going there, everybody? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing you guys a brand new Black Clover episode discussion. And for today's segment, guys, we're going to be talking about is episode 2 all the way down to episode 7, folks. Yes, folks, I finally binge watched it. I'll definitely give you guys that. But the thing that I really found interesting about this actual anime, folks, is that Black Clover really is just a brand new show where it's really gathering all the shonen tropes from Naruto, Fairy Tail, and Bleach, and putting them all together as one and just calling it Black Clover. Honestly, it really isn't anything fresh for a lot of old shonen fans or a lot of people that are really familiar with a lot of the shonen shows. But in my honest opinion, it is interesting to watch. Don't get me wrong. I just love the way the characters are just overwhelmingly contrasting against each other. But at the end of the day, you know, it just reminds you of those like strong old shonen memories, you know, Fairy Tail, Katake Hitman, Naruto, Bleach. Like it just keeps reminding you because, you know, you've seen this already and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool now, but just reminds me of those old school ones. Granted, though, the another part that kind of does get me a little, how do I say this? It gets me a little frustrated more so is the fact that they keep reiterating parts of the previous episode every time a new episode appears. Granted, though, maybe it's a production plan that they actually do in order to so that they don't catch up to the manga really quickly, because I know Black Clover really isn't that far in the manga. Like, they're barely almost at 100 chapters. If not, they are at 100 chapters, but still, there really is no need for them to actually show that in every episode. If something happens in the episode, they don't have to show what happens in the next episode, because then that will make no sense as to show the whole entire episode, because they just grab the important parts. But like I said, though, like it's maybe just intended for a younger audience, because maybe a lot of these kids these days are having a lot on their minds, so maybe that's why the anime companies are doing that. Maybe. I'm trying to keep it on the positive note, but still, it does irritate me a little when I was binge watching. I was like, man, let me just skip to like 5 minutes of the anime. Oh, what do you know? We're back to regular schedule. Like I said, it gets a person irritated after a while, but still. But moving on, though, folks, I do find, like I said, I did find the anime interesting because it's a brand new look for the main character, and that is the way that what Fairy Tail didn't do was a person that didn't have any magic. Granted, though, Asta as a main character definitely has quality traits that Natsu does possess, but the thing that he doesn't possess for Natsu is the fact that at least Asta, we know for sure he's a human because of the fact that he loves women. That myself made me laugh, because I was watching throughout every single episode and you see Asta always thinking and blushes around women. He loves sister, the sister that's around him all the time since he was his childhood, which, by the way, they gave like a whole backstory, and like when she first got introduced, and you see freaking Asta just love her, I'm sorry, but it's so hilarious. I thought that was a very fun, like, it's always a funny little trait from Asta, that, you know, that he's a very proud guy, that, you know, he's not afraid to actually talk to women. That's what I like about Asta's character. That made me say, like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep watching. This is pretty funny now. This is pretty funny. In all entirety, though, like I said, Black Clover really isn't that horrible. It really isn't. Like, the story itself, like I said, it is generic, but it's Asta that really is driving the story forward itself. It keeps the viewer wondering, how is Asta gonna actually get out of this situation? Granted, though, as the episodes were progressing and you see Yuno's character, which, by the way, we got like a lot of backstories on Yuno and a lot of backstories on Asta. You see how their childhood was very, very, very fruitful, you could kind of say, as they were really bringing some hardships for themselves as they were growing up. But the way I kind of see it, the one that really is getting more of a lighter tone for his childhood is Asta. Asta doesn't really see himself as a weakling. He's always seeing himself to be someone on top. Heck, even the kids at the orphanage kind of saw him as like a very person to look up to, while you kind of see him as a perfectionist. But when you start noticing, really isn't like that kind of person. He seems a little bit more weaker than what he really is. Asta's really more of the stronger person. It's very interesting seeing that from the two characters, at the way they're being portrayed. But granted, though, like I said, I'm loving Asta's character. I hope they don't go with that theme where Asta actually gets like a demon or some kind of spirit, benevolent, like just tries to like incorporate his body. I hope they don't go towards that route, because I love the way how they're treating Asta's character right now. If they do, well, better get the drinks ready, because we're going fairy tale all over again. But anywho, moving on, though, guys. Granted, like I said, there were mini arcs though. I believe there was only 2 mini arcs. Is the introduction to the Black Bulls arc and the introduction of the magical games, or magic entrance exam, you could kind of say. These 2 mini arcs really went quickly, and I found them that the whole entire premise of it was just introduction to so many characters. Literally, you could tell the author really is more focusing on world setting than actually focus on the fights. If you guys noticed it, like, there really hasn't been any like fruitful fights. I mean, granted, we see Asta versus one of the characters from the Black Bull organization, but I really wouldn't call that as a fight. It's more or less, it was an initiation exam just for him to go inside the Black Bulls to see the other characters. But like I said, all these episodes are just introducing more and more and more characters on and on. But I'm wondering myself, is that really going to hinder the story? Because there's going to be so many characters that after a while you're going to be like, oh, what happened to this character? What happened to this character? Why is this character being on the side if this character is actually very interesting? Like, that's the way I'm seeing kind of how Black Clover is going. Like, it's going too fast for the way that they're kind of bringing all the characters. Maybe they're trying to bring about so many characters in order for them to actually work with an actual story, because they don't want to just focus on Asta and Yuno now, since they kind of just got well done with it by like episode 2 or 3 around there. They kind of got done with them too. But granted, like I said, I do love the way they're kind of encompassing the way that organizations are around the lore of Black Clover. Like, we got like 8 different kind of like captains of the mages, and we see that like each of them they have very unique traits, you kind of say. They're unique personalities, and we see that Golden Dawn accepted Yuno, and we see that the Black Bulls accepted Asta. It's a very different contrast, and we saw like I believe it was episode 7, last one. We saw that the Golden Dawn, which is, by the way, the one that's like very prominent and everybody wants to join because that's the one that like everybody loves. We see that in reality they're keeping a high prestige look around for the townsfolk themselves. And you see, like, the way he comes in, he's being condescended the whole entire time, and you're wondering like, wow, very different from how Asta was being treated in the Red Bulls. They kind of accepted for who he is. He's coming from the bottom and he's trying to work himself from the top. And you see like the captain of the Red Bulls, for the Black Bulls, he's really actually trying to see like, how Asta's determination to be the next Wizard King. Like I said, it's very different contrast between each of the captains and guilds themselves. It's very interesting. I want to see more as to what they're going to be showing within each of the actual guild members themselves. Granted, like I said, the episode 8 will actually more focus on their first mission together. So I'm hoping that will be a little bit more interesting to see, and also more so on the fact that, like, I love the way that they actually introduced that giant skull that was in the background between like the first couple episodes. They gave an introduction as to what that was, and that was like the strongest creature of some sort, and the Wizard King took it down with such ease. So it gives a little bit more lore within the actual grimoire books that they actually possess. I wonder if they're going to be focusing more on that too. They didn't really focus on the actual episodes. They kind of just keep hinting like these grimoire books, they're very different. Each of the characters and mages themselves, they all have different powers, but they also, some of them kind of have like the same abilities. Like I seen some characters that had the same water abilities. I seen one that had these 2 characters that had 2 lightning abilities, like, but like in different contrasts. Like I remember the one from the Black Bulls themselves. They had like the little kid with the yellow hair. This kid, he had like lightning based abilities, but like look for like only on his legs, versus the one that Asta that saw in the actual tournament was very different in terms of like how he was like a prestige, and he used it more like he was seeing himself as like a kami-san and all that good stuff. I kind of was wondering like, okay, so the magic itself is just really dispersed and depends on how well the person uses. Like I said, it's very interesting how all the characters can be using the grimoire books, and I want to see more as to how they're going to be dealing with that. But granted though, I would say that's about it. Like the episode of Cell Digits, like I said, it's just mostly introduction though. I'm hoping that the first mission they start going more into the lore, like I said, of the actual town, and more of the backstory of the Black Bulls and how each of the actual knights actually got together. It'd be interesting. Like they did give a little introduction, but like I want to know what's going on with the actual current storyline. That's what, like I said, it's keeping me interested to see as to what's going to be happening. So I'll give Black Clover that actual leverage right there, because it's still entertaining at the end of the day. It still had me hooked, saying, oh, okay, I want to see another episode. But let me know down in the comments below as to what are you guys' thoughts on Black Clover. Did you guys like it? Did you guys enjoy it? Did it remind you too much of the other shonen actual genres, or did you guys find it more annoying versus Asta's voice? Which, by the way, for me, it does get annoying, but after a while, it kind of, like I said, it separates him from the other shonen characters. You kind of see that he's still a kid. That's what he's kind of screaming all the time. They're trying to show that he's a young kid. If he wasn't doing that, he'd just be an annoying adult. But like I said, they're trying to encompass that he's a kid. It's a part of how he's going to grow as a character. That's the way I kind of see it with Asta himself. But like I said, let me know down in the comments. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, don't forget to give a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Black Clover episode discussions. And as always, guys, hope to see you guys again in the next video. But peace out, folks.